You know what I'm saying? I
Brother
did go like,
Shaka,
oh, yeah.
let me say this before I go. You are
Yeah.
one of the most dangerous brothers in our community. Why? Because he has been listening for a long time, and when you say something, he's going to say, "Wait, but you said this on this day. Here's the video."
And he's going to have the
He is one of
documentation.
the most dangerous brothers in our community. And so I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited that Soneta's audience now knows about you. He was talking to me about Shaka. I thought he was talking about Shaka almost for a second. Because Soneta love him some Shaka Ma'at forever. So I'm just honored that now we have a more global. I know Rob Moore was kind of making a joke, but he was also making a comment. The reality is that this internet is going to allow Africans all over the world to connect on our interest, and that is powerful. That is powerful.
Yes.
I'm honored to be on. I promise I will communicate with you. I'm watching your shows ardently, Shaka. So whenever you would like me to come and chat with you privately or publicly, please let me know.
Yeah.
Okay?
Otep Senu Hena Senut Iti Ren-I Shakandugu Kemet. I hope there's no denial. You are happy like the Nile. The title of this live stream is Kwanzaa, Karenga, Eldridge, Cleaver. I just noticed there's a comma missing. Add it. Won't be long. Down here and down here. All right, the comma after Karenga has been added. I'm going to check the sound quality. Give me one moment. Sounds good on my end. Donnie is in the place to be, and thank you once again for telling me that the sound is good. Now, I'm very tired of reading the fair use disclaimer, so I'm just putting it on the screen. You have the link to the video Kemet and Ma'at. You also have a link with some strange people. Now, I just came across that book called Kwanzaa is Satan, and you have the link here on Amazon. I was looking for a thumbnail for my live stream. I actually went through my archive, and life can be funny sometimes, you know. Now, this is I think a new person here, Kimati Melaku L. He wrote peace and he or she, because there's it seems like there's men and women. Kimati wrote peace and shalom aleichem. Oh, shalom aleichem. Okay. Shalom aleichem to the platform. Okay. Now, welcome. Peace to you. And feel free to let me know if you are male or female, because it's a bit difficult to tell from the thumbnail. But actually, it looks like a male with his with two children. There it is. I'm male. Thank you. So now I know. Thank you. So indeed, here is the book on Amazon. Now, you know what? The music seems a little bit loud, but I have the earpiece, so down a little bit. So here is the book on Amazon. Kwanzaa is Satan. John 10:10, the greatest deception of the 20th and 21st century. Karenga Kwanzaa Kwaida, written by Barbara Ann the Loach. I don't know if it's pronounced Loach or Loke. Now, she was a member of this organization, and in the back cover, it says jaw-dropping secrets hidden for decades are revealed in this book, written by a former member of the U.S. Many times I say us organization. I don't know if they pronounce it. I think they pronounce it. Somebody may tell me if they pronounced it us or U.S. But many times I say us. So that was Karenga's organization. So I may get the ebook version because it's quite affordable, So you have the link in the chat. Kimati wrote, interesting book title. The book title is quite interesting indeed. Some people may say it is strange because a holiday cannot be Satan, but we get the picture. We get the picture. Kimati wrote, pronounce us in reference to the people. Thank you. So now we can get this thing started.
Do you have trouble with Skype? Because MCT, you're on. Welcome, ET.
Hello. Peace.
Peace, sister. I'm glad that you're here. Very glad that you're here. Feel free, sister. The mic is yours.
First of all, I would like to say that I've been following your work, I think since 2011, 2012, I want to say. And I'm glad I found your new channels because I couldn't find the other ones. But I really did appreciate you taking the time to explain the Medunetter and the history and all your videos going to the museums. That was greatly appreciated. I had that was around the time.
I'm sorry, sister. I'm very sorry. Is there any chance that you can speak louder, please? Or closer to your phone, maybe.
Can you hear me now?
Better, yes. Please try to keep it that way, as close as your phone as you can. Please go ahead. Please continue.
Okay. That was around the time when I had just left Christianity and all that. And I found your information really interesting and intriguing, both you and SETI around that time. And I don't really find any problem with your work or anything that you have ever done. But I wanted to ask you what are some of the things that inspired you to do that type of conscious work on YouTube?
Well, it's a nice question. I started my website in 2004. I was 22 years old. I was living in England at the time. Those who don't know, I was born in France. I grew up in France. My parents are from Haiti. That's where they were born. That's where they grew up. And I ended up in England. And I was reading a lot of books about history. Thanks to Amazon. Because most of the books that we hear, I don't like to make free advertisement. I'm not saying that as if I was a celebrity or anything like that, but the type of books that most of us, I'm sure, have read, we don't find them in our local libraries. So thanks to Amazon, I was able to have a lot of books about Black history, books that I would not have found any other way. So that's thanks to the internet. And I grew up in a
was raised in a Christian family, as most Haitians are, and Christians, Catholic, even though many deal with the voodoo, but on the low. And I was asking myself questions about my people and where did we go wrong? Where did
Mm.
we go wrong?
Mm.
And often I thought that we might have gone wrong in ancient Egypt because the narrative tells us that the Egyptians have enslaved the Hebrews. But as you study history, you come to realize that it doesn't appear to be factual. So, what I'm trying to say without being too long winded is that as I was getting to realize that the Bible stories are not as factual as I thought they were, if you ask me today, they're not factual at all. I mean, a few events might be inspired by some true events, but the majority, as far as I'm concerned, it's not history. So at the same time, I'm learning about real history, and at the same time, I'm losing my religious faith. I went to the stage where I was like, what should I believe in?
Mm-hmm.
And well, history was the main reason how I got to come across that information. I remember back then I was just like, you sister and the other brothers and sisters would sometimes ask me questions because it was new to me, and I would ask questions, and I used to
Right.
share information a lot. And before YouTube, there was the message boards, PHPBB for those who remember, and V Belton, and so on. That's where the debates, the discussions used to take place. And now it's fading because of these new social networks that we never had back then. Remember, I started my website in 2004. And that's about the time when YouTube, Facebook started. So it was not live and kicking. For those who remember, we used to upload videos on Google Video. We don't even have Google Video anymore. And many times our accounts were snatched, copyright claims, and we share on social media, on message boards and so on. And I remember I used to share a lot of Ashwa Kwezi's work. And I had even met him when he came to England in Leeds. I took a picture with him. He made me wait though. He had to sell his DVDs. Ashwa Kwezi's work helped a lot of people. But I lament the fact that he's not making amendments, because for those of you who might have seen his DVDs, sometimes he says that Jesus never existed. There was a spirit in creation. I think he says that during his debate with the pastor. I can't remember the pastor's name. And other times he will show depictions, basically talk about Jesus as if he existed, but he was black. Some of you might remember that he shows some portrait and he says he was a political offender, and he talks about the Essenes, that sect of Christians. And in that depiction, that person appears to be brown. So there's nothing wrong with making amendments. Either existed or he did not. He did not. But I am not down with the Black Jesus talk. But he's been going to Kemet and bringing people there for 30 years, over 30 years. He's doing his thing. And there was a situation that I addressed back then. The video is no longer there. Well, I felt like he was not being honest with me, but it's not a big deal. That was back then. I would like him to make amendments, but he doesn't have to. He's been in the game, quote unquote game, for much longer than me. And he does what he does, and I do what I do. You understand what I'm saying? But sister, I felt like I was so long-winded. So I'm
No. That's fine. That's fine. Another thing I just want to say is that I hope there are plenty of other brothers and sisters like you who are going to keep exposing the that fraudulent, fake ass, nothing but a bunch of liars, deceivers, manipulators, in the so-called conscious community. I call it the conscious community because at the end of the day, we know there's a lot of information out there, but because that it's out there and certain people get a hold of it, they misuse it and they twist it and they use it for their own benefit. They don't care about actually telling the people the truth. And so what you were talking about with that Kwanzaa dude, that sick bastard, I think situations like that, and I think it needs to be brought to Black people's attention on a massive scale. And I think Black people need to learn how to just deal with the truth. He kind of he did remind me of that guy in the Black Panthers. I forget his name. No, Eldridge.
Eldridge Cleaver, the former rapist.
Yeah, that talked about how we need to practice raping black women
first, and then we got killed. Sister, I'm so glad you're saying that. I'm gonna add on when you finish.
Yeah, but it was just awful. But Black men love him, revere him, respect him. You can't say a word a negative about him. But these are the same people in the so-called conscious community that claim to love and respect Black people and want the best for their people, but you idolize a sick motherfucker like that.
I'm sorry, sister. I was listening to you. I'm just asking my lady to bring me the charger because I'm not in the same room where I'm used to be, and it says that the battery is low. But I heard what you said. You ended up saying that word
like that.
Yeah.
Now they'll call you a simp, right? A man like you who you don't see disrespecting women, right? They'll call you a simp for calling out stuff like that, but they don't seem to really call out him or people like him that are still around somewhere in the conscious community or any conscious community anywhere. They won't call him out. They won't what's that? Atone him or make hold him responsible.
To atone.
Right. Hold him responsible for his actions, but they want
to. For the record, in this article, you have the link in the chat by Kwanzaa and Karenga. We have Dr. John Henry Clark saying that he has not atoned. So we're going to have a look quickly.
Karenga, where he went to jail for doing needs to be explained. He went to jail for mutilating Black women. And the women he mutilated were dark complexion. The women in his harem, he has a harem, light complexion, almost white. So in addition to having an ego problem, he might have a color problem too. Come on, bring it down, bring it home. He speaks well, he performs well. We have to make a distinction between these academic vaudeville shows. We cannot accept the performance as fighting our liberation. We can enjoy a performance, but don't think it moves you forward. We have the bank account of the performance. So I really think Karenga is more of a performer than anything. I don't see anything like coming from him.
He has not atoned to the community for his attempt to destroy the Panther movement He has not atoned for being a police informer. He has not atoned for the way he treated black women. And look now, the women he mistreated and mutilated were dark in complexion. The women in his harem are light in complexion. The number one woman is a Mexican with what seemed to be an Afro wig.
Like you to be held for your quote unquote actions, even though we don't find a lot of we don't have, you're not the type of person to disrespect women or idolize people like that. They'll come at you, they'll send you death threats, but they won't do the same for those sick people who have actually caused harm to other black people.
Sister, I'm sorry. Please stay with me. I'm just going to grab the charger. I don't want the laptop to just die on me. So I'll be just a few seconds, less than a minute. I'm very sorry. I apologize for that. I want to do things right. I'll be back in a second. Got it. I'm going to plug it. Yes, I'm back. Thank you very much for holding on. Now, I'd like to just mention, add on to what you said when you talk about Eldridge Cleaver. I was a fan of Rascals. I think he's one of the best rappers. And he had that song called The Nature of the Threat. Very thought-provoking song. And I've read about Rascals and got to find out that his first album was called Soul on Ice. And it was said that he named that album after Eldridge Cleaver's book of the same name, Soul on Ice. So I ordered Eldridge Cleaver's book, and that's one of the few times where I had never got to finish a book that I purchased. I read the beginning, and like City, I was shocked. I was like, what the hell? The brother definitely talked about he was arrested for getting high. He never thought he could be arrested for getting high and was mad at the system or whatever. And then after his teens, his time, let's say his time served, a short time served, he started raping women. And indeed, he practiced black women first, and then he moved to white women. I was like, this guy used to rape. And I'm like, I threw the book in the trash can, and I even went outside. I didn't put it in the bin in my house. I went outside, so it's outside. That's when I was in England, and that's a shame. And when we see the movie Black Panther by I think it's Mario Van Peebles, but the movie Black Panther, about the Black Panther Party, not the movie about Wakanda, which is great. I don't have anything against that movie. I know some people say that T'Challa is a traitor. I disagree, but that's a movie. But the movie about the Black Panther Party, it seems that it is because of Eldridge Cleaver that the young brother, I think it's called Bobby Hutton, the young one who joined when he was just 17. It appears that in the movie, because the movies are based on true events, it doesn't mean that that's what happened, but that it was his fault that he died. But just for the record, I read sometimes later, after I threw the book in the trash, that indeed, what they show in the movie, he left America. He went in exile somewhere in Africa or North Africa or something like that. And he came back years later, and he was pardoned, and he was a born-again Christian or something. And I was like, damn. So you're a panther. You're against the system. You're about that life, and you just ready to do your thing, and then you come back as a Christian and all that. I mean,
Oh, by mistake, I took the sharing away. So let me go back a few seconds. Okay, so for the record, what I'm going to share now is the book Soul on Ice by Eldridge Cleaver. Maybe it's pronounced Cleaver, but Soul on Ice. There it is. Oh, in the meantime, Donnie wrote Raskas is one of his favorite of all time as well. Oh, Donnie Williams have the book Soul on Ice. Okay. So here it is. You have the link. It's on archive.org. And you all understand how I felt when I read it. This is page 14. And we can see here, he wrote, I became a rapist. To refine my technique and modus operandi, I started out by practicing on black girls in the ghetto. In the black ghetto, where dark and vicious deeds appear not as aberrations or deviations from the norm, but as part of the sufficiency of the evil of a day. And then, when I considered myself smooth enough, I crossed the tracks and sought out white prey. I did this consciously, deliberately, willfully, methodically. Though looking back, I see that I was in a frantic, wild, and completely abandoned frame of mind. I'm reading a book, Soul on Ice by Eldridge Cleaver. Some people may, act funny with some clips. So, rape was a insurrectionary act. Okay, it's okay. I read enough. So you have the link. So that's Eldridge Cleaver from the book Soul on Ice. So that's why I threw the book away. And like I said, I did not even do that in my house. I went outside of my apartment to throw it on the trash bin, that was around the parking area. But anyway, so let's go back to this convo.
That's messed up. Karenga, there's a video of Dale Jones. Dale Jones says that he mentioned Karenga sticking pipes in the female's vagina, the female that he tortured. And in Mukafa Africa's article.
Now, let's hear from Dale Jones. To search. Some people may say, oh, it was not Karenga who did that. It was somebody else.
We haven't brought closure to Karenga. We let him build a holiday. The same one who set up Black Panthers in ambushes at UCLA and other places. The same one who tortured his wife and another woman brutally, sticking bottles in their vagina, using electrical shocks, and the FBI saved him.
One of the guys who was close to Karenga says that he probably raped the woman. But the torture alone is crazy. You need to read this article, brothers and sisters. It's incredible. That's incredible. And like I said in one of my latest videos, Karenga is part of ASCAC. I think he's a founding member. Brother Reggie, I don't have anything against him. He appears to be a good brother. Sometimes he might fence right a little, but I can elaborate on that. But he appears to be sincere. But during the latest ASCAC conference, he gave a shout out to Karenga.
At that time, I had not spoken to Butler Reggie. But for those who don't know Butler Reggie, we can, hear from the horse's mouth how he gets down.
I don't believe in old Egyptian gods. I don't believe in that stuff. I wasn't even taught that bullshit, right? I'm the one who bangs against the Comedics. I bang against them and they can't get through me because the gods that they worship, right, were born from another group of thinking, right? So you can't come with me with no goddamn Heru or no other that bullshit. Show it to me in the primary, show it to me in writing, show it to me in the period. You're making the bullshit up.
So Reggie's betrayal of Kemet offends me. It's offensive. The exposing of information to an enemy for what reasons? Because you don't like Jabari? It's not good. It's not good. So you can rectify that.
But I don't care. Listen, watch this, y'all. Look at me. I don't care about Egyptian pyramids. I think that they was a little cuckoo. I think they should have built a wall like the Wall of China. I think they would have been smarter to do that instead of building beacons to get attacked over and over again. I think those religious-minded ancient Kemetiu were cuckoo for Cocoa Pops for doing that.
You don't mean that, do you?
Huh?
You don't mean that, do you?
I definitely mean that. You don't know, Shaka? You know who you invited on this channel? Brother Reggie? Huh?
You're saying you think that the commissions were a bit
crazy? Cocoa Pops for doing that.
No, come on, you can't say that. You can't say that.
Why not?
No, you can't say that.
I got some time. Hey, look, the late period of ancient.
Why would you go that far?
All right, Reggie, are you Kemetic?
No, I'm a descendant of West Africa, and I study ancient Egyptian culture. And
you already nailed it, Reggie. You already nailed it. You got it.
So I am not a member of a cult called the Comedics.
Yeah, I mean his pharaoh could have been a Greek, but I don't.
Well, I tell you what, Heru was Greek.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because one of the stories of Heru being conceived is during the Greek time period.
And now today, it is so sad that I have to say Dr. Ben is now rolling over in his grave. Dr. Ben is now looking up, looking down or looking around, wherever, at one of his top students. And he is now saying, what happened to you, my brother? You were supposed to carry on the torch. Now you're going against the greatness of my teachings, of what I taught you. I think it was the time when my brother, Dr. Reggie, committed treason when Sarah Sutan said he was going up against Nasi Yashavel. And I should have seen it then when Dr. Reggie secretly went behind all of our backs and gave Nasi Yashavel, a Hebrew Israelite, the antidote, the information that can try to kill Sarah Sutan Seti when Seti was defending Dr. Ben, defending Kemet, defending African culture. But Reggie went and gave Nasi Yashavel information against us. I didn't see it then. I couldn't believe it. I said, no, that's not my brother Reggie. He ain't do that. And then I heard Reggie one day admitted it. And I was so hurt, man. I just couldn't believe it, man. That's when Reggie failed. He have no longer become the backbone of Kemet. He have no longer become the strength of Kemet. And I just got to say, man, I just feel sorry for my brother.
MF Dresden is in the place to be. Danny Wood, top student, is crazy. Yeah, he seems a bit, but he calls him doctor. As a matter of fact, it's okay. He's not the only one. His Wi-Fi so-called wife called him that, like I think yesterday. Because I know that because Chris did a live stream banging on Sanetta's wife, Napa, Woof Woof Napa. And I was like, okay, he's banging on the HOK on Frankie Sanetta. Now he's going at his wife. And I forgot if it was in the comment. Somebody said that, Chris did that because she talked about him. So out of curiosity, and the person who left the comment say, within the first 2-3 minutes when she started speaking. So I didn't have a timestamp, but I know where to look. So I searched when she got on the panel, and looked for the part, and indeed she mentioned, Chris. So that's when I heard her say, Dr. Reggie, because, of course I'm not subscribed to Filthy Frankie, and I don't usually listen to his streams, but sometimes there may be, a thing or two, that's spicy, But anyway, that being said, let's continue.
It's on the screen. And he was addressing a Simotep's claim. And I'm like, well, no, it is what it is. He went to jail for his actions. But his action was severe. And besides the the torture of this woman, this black woman, it appears that it was definitely against the Panther. And it appears also that he was an FBI agent. But they might say it's contrary pro, we don't know. But the torture of the black woman, I cannot rock with that. And besides that, Kwanzaa itself is a plagiarism from Hanukkah. So why do we still celebrate it? I have people in France, a sister who celebrates Kwanzaa, and she did some real proud thing. She's like, well, our people need to understand that Christmas is foolishness. We should not celebrate it. So Christmas is foolishness, but Hanukkah is supposed to be African? Come on now. Really, that's why I said, Sister Cynthia, that we're dealing with the big guys on the block. People who are established as organizations. And they used to get paid that way. It's been years they've been getting paid. It's been years. That's how they make, some of them, that's how they make a living. And it's like, let's say, it's an analogy. Drug dealers. We can talk all day. But it's bad for the community. Everybody knows it. Even the drug dealers themselves, they know it's bad, but they chose a path in order to eat and to be wealthy. Because at some point, it's not just about eating. It's about being wealthy. That's their lifestyle. It is what it is. And I'm talking about heavy drug. I'm against all drug, even the weed. Some people say it's natural. That's all other debate. But usually, the drug that makes you a lot of money is a strong drug, a hard drug, heroin, cocaine, and all that, ecstasy, and all the other names that they have nowadays, meth and stuff like that.
Right.
Now,
but
those people, yes, sister, go ahead.
But I was just saying that with the weed shit, people overdo it. It's like, it may not be crack or heroin or something like that, but if anything that you need, anything that your body doesn't need, you have to have it any day, every day, all day. That's still a problem.
Sister, please, can you repeat that phrase? Because it was like breaking up when we were talking.
I said, weed may not be as bad as heroin or crack or something like that. But anything that you don't need, but you have to have it every day, it's an addiction. It's not something that it's not something that you need. You're not sick. Like, you're not where you need.
Oh, sister, please. Sorry, sister. Please. Maybe you need to try, if it's possible for you to move somewhere, maybe close to a window, because it's really breaking when you're talking.
Breaking up? Can you hear me now?
Yes, and please, I'm sorry, I don't want to be annoying, but please try to speak as close to the phone as you can. because we hear you but low.
Can you hear me now?
That's a bit better. Thank you, sister.
And,
So you were talking about the addiction.
yeah, and it's an addiction if you have to have it every day, but it's not a necessity. Health. And I just feel like weed heads, they even if it's not really a total bad thing, they make it look bad because you got people, they rather buy weed than buy their baby some clothes or buy weed or rather than buy food in the house. They make it seem like they are on crack or something the way they constantly need to have it in their system.
I'm glad you mentioned that, sister, because before I talk about the weed, I just wanted to say that if we want to get rid of this drug in the community, then we're gonna come across drug dealers who most of the time are gangsters who are about that life and they are equipped for whatever comes to them or whoever will stop them from eating. So this is an analogy. Those big guys on the block, those conscious community leaders, they've been eating and they have followers. And if you come and say something that will prevent them from making as much money as they used to, you will become a problem to them. You would even become somewhat of an enemy. They will not say it because they like to talk that we're all together, we are brothers and sisters. But they will try to do things. They will actually do things or send, but most of the time they send people. They don't do it directly. They send people to stop you, to slow you down. We've heard Umar Johnson talking about that sister. She needs to be shut down. Her mouth needs to be shut permanently. We know what it means. But to the weed, there's a sister. I don't know if she still makes videos on YouTube, but I think her name is Manifested Melanin. And I remember when she made a video, and when I had the radio broadcast, I addressed that. She made a video, and the title was "Weed is the Key to Our Liberation." And she was saying that all the people that she knows that smoke weed, they are cool. And she was just making her argument. And I was like, I cannot believe it. So I addressed that respectfully, my disagreement. And then there's
I found that on my archive that was on Blog Talk Radio, for those who know it. So we're not going to listen to all of it, but just for the record.
Hotep, brothers and sisters, and welcome to Manifested Melanin. Today's topic is weed is the key to our freedom and evolution as a people. Now, today, the reason why this topic came to mind about Mary Jade, weed, cannabis, or any other names you want to give it, weed is a high-ranking herb from the gods. And the reason why I said this because through pure observation of growing up and being exposed to people who smoke weed, I see that weed has a relaxing, calming, harmonizing effect on our people. Anytime I ever went to a cookout or a party and it was just about weed or a weed cipher, I realized that a bunch of brothers and sisters would think on a higher level. They would discuss things they wouldn't normally discuss in their natural state. I saw brothers become mathematicians. I saw brothers who had deep concern about things that they would never talk about until they inhale this magical herb. Anytime I went to a cookout that it was just all about weed, there was never no fight. If you ever been to a party that's predominantly our people that are just smoking weed with no other substance involved, we get along and nobody fights and we're peaceful and we're happy and we're laughing and we're getting along. Anything like liquor or just being sober, we're so hostile and we're angry and we just want to fight. I never came across violence in the presence of weed. Now, I know that self-hate is the main motive of the reason why we do crime and malicious things against one another. But imagine if we all just smoke. And I'm not saying that to be funny, nor am I saying go out there and go get weed. Because number one, if you're not growing it or importing it from Jamaica, where you're getting it from a Rastafarian, you know, individuals that you know take care of their marijuana from a spiritual sense. And I watched a lot of videos and heard a lot of stories about, you know, Rastafarians taking pride in their weed, and they take care of it just like they're their children. The way I hear them talk about it and take care of their farm, it sounds like they're treating them like actual individuals, which you are supposed to, because plants are just living things as we are. They have spirits, they have souls. So to walk past them and not acknowledge them as a living creature on this earth, that is sad, and that shows how disconnected you are to Mother Nature. But I feel that for us to have certain topics such as socialism, communism, nationalism, I think we need to just get a big stadium and have some weed. I think we need to have a big gathering in California, since it's legal there in that state, and we need to have a big ass cipher. And the reason, I'm not saying this to be funny, but it really did hit me while watching Bone Thugs and Harmony's video, which I love them because they only predominantly talk about smoking weed, and I love their hair. Anyways, I was watching their video and I just realized that how relaxed and how open and how happy and how they can all sit together with people in their neighborhood just with weed. And we can't even do that regular. And I know that from being a teenager and smoking weed before, that anytime, even if it was somebody new, if they put something on the weed, they can come and we will all smoke together. There was no beef. It was not no who you, nigga, where you from. There was no hostility. Now I do understand that in some people's opinions, they will say, well, oh, some people are addicts. I believe when people are dealing with marijuana mixed with another substance, that's when it becomes wrong and a drug. I will never say marijuana is a drug. It comes from Mother Earth, and all these herbs that are here were designed to help us and heal us. Now, I feel that because we are people that were not trained to think and not trained to or exposing to expand our mind, that anytime I see the brother or sister hit a blunt, they sound like experts. They sound like professors. Like, it was just amazing. Like, we should really consider this. We should really consider this, because if you your own self, if you smoke weed or you know somebody who smokes weed, sit down and observe them. Have a cipher. Have your friends come over to your house and get some weed, 100% weed, nothing with no other substance in it, no crack, no cocaine, no none of that. And really sit down and observe your brothers and sisters. And I'm not saying that we should be a people that should be smoking all the time in order to get along or to have a decent adult conversation about our current circumstances in America and around the globe. What I'm saying is that us that knows what's going on, we know how to conduct ourselves, and we know how to act and react to certain topics that is brought up about our current condition. But when it comes to brothers and sisters that I guess you could say are brainwashed, they are more open and receptive to knowledge when they are smoking marijuana. So I stand firm and believe that weed is the key to our freedom, because the only time they ever want to sit down and listen, the only time they ever want to sit down and think is when they are in the presence of marijuana. And imagine if we just got a bunch of weed smokers in the building and then we hit them with the knowledge. And this is the type of knowledge that stays in their conscious and subconscious mind. Because I know from watching brothers and sisters, well, predominantly brothers, when they were smoking weed and they had things to handle, even though sometimes to certain people, well, everybody has different reactions to weed. Some people get sluggish and some people get energized. My
Okay. Now,
The guy, I think, I forgot his name. Hip hop health work on network, some wordplay or something like that. So some guy with some dreads, and he basically took an excerpt of me talking, and I was saying that I know people who smoke weed and they end up slow, they lose weight, they are not as live as they used to be. And I was just making my argument why I think it's bad for us. So he put my voice with like Styles P, because Styles P is like used to be much bigger, and he worked on his diet, and I think he might be a vegetarian, but he's about this juice bar. He has a juice bar, so he's more healthy. And he put a video of Styles P doing calisthenics and stuff like that. Basically, by him not saying anything but putting that, it's as if when I'm saying that the people who smoke weed are slow and they are not as physically fit as they used to be, then it's countering my argument. And the funny thing, just not to be long-winded, is that this dude made a video. He spoke about eating urine. Drinking urine, drinking piss. So when I made a video addressing him, I used the caption of him with a glass, because he had a picture maybe from MySpace or Facebook where he was holding a glass. So I was like, urine drinker, and he was pissed. But hey, that it is what it is, man. So some people who are down with weed, they are down with drinking urine too, But the weed, I think it's a problem. It's not as bad as the other drugs, but sister, we have some issues, because indeed, I mentioned Umar, that school issue, $1 million first. That's what he was asking for on GoFundMe. Then, like I said in one of my videos, out of curiosity, I was wondering how much he had, and I was surprised to see that he went from $1 million to $4 million. He went from asking $1 million to $4 million. I was like, where they do that at? That's incredible. And I remember a long time ago, years ago, when he said that PayPal had frozen about $200,000, and I had a hard time believing that. But when there was a scandal with the stripper, and that he wrote a letter to the public addressing that, and he called her a maggot, and I don't know which other word he used, but this was not the big thing for me. The big thing for me was that he basically said, for those who don't know, that an NBA player or some kind of athlete wanted to found his school, but when he found out about the scandal, he didn't want to be involved in that. By him doing that was to try to make people so angry at the system, even or excommunicating. Losing my. I mean, that's horrible. Who can believe that? Who can believe that an athlete who is a millionaire, he wants to donate money to Umar, but because it was a scandal with a stripper, then the athlete no longer wants to do that? You can donate the money without us really knowing that you're the one who did that. I mean, I thought that was so ridiculous. That's just crazy. And that sister, Manifesting Melanin, that's someone who said that weed is the key to our liberation. She made a video when there was that scandal with the stripper, the conscious stripper, as she was nicknamed, and she was crying. And she was saying, well, you know what you did, and you know, that brother was about to do the school and so on, and that's horrible what you did. And I was like, wow, it's crazy. But I don't mean to make fun of the sister when I'm saying that. I'm just talking about what I saw.
No, you're right. I understand. I understand. I've seen that too. Umar is a trip. I just, after a while, you see a pattern in the so-called conscious community. And it's pathetic at this point that a lot of people keep falling for the same tricks. I mean, it's sad that we do have these con artists scamming fake ass niggas, but we have to wisen up as a people. When you start seeing a pattern, it's time to realize that these people are not for you. I mean, you probably should catch it, earlier in the game when they start coming out with a bunch of lies. But definitely, when you keep seeing these people with the same thing, go a GoFundMe, donate a crazy amount of money, and then don't have no plan, no foundation, don't show anything of how this is supposed to work out or what exactly they're supposed to do with the money, or you order some products and never get them, or any other type of con artist activities that's out there, and you keep seeing it over and over again from these so-called conscious people, it's time to hang it up. It's time to stop listening to these people, stop putting your trust in them, and just ultimately make like they don't exist. I mean, of course, warn other people about their scamming, but we got to stop giving these people our time of day as a whole.
But then again, sister, like you mentioned earlier, when you disagree with those people, you are labeled so many things. And it's so funny that you mentioned the nickname of Coon Unity. I used that back then when the Black Means Death team used to go hard against me. It's like I was the worst person in the world. And I used that term, that wordplay. And then later on, I saw some text, some people typing, and they was like, these guys calling us coon. And I was like, come on now. It's not like as if I'm calling African Americans coon. I'm talking about the conscious community. And the conscious community is not only in America. But then again, I stopped using that because I don't want to, because it's very sensitive with African Americans and Africans elsewhere worldwide, because you have a member of that Black Means Death team, as I used to label it or nickname it back then, who was a Moor. And there's the audio. He was like, you guys talking about you got all this love for Africa, but they never give a F about us. They sold us. Those were business deals and stuff like that. I mean, when you hear that, and he was saying, we are all that we got. So
people have to understand that it wasn't so much the European coming in and beating Africans. The European is not bad enough to we give the cracker too much credit as far as the destruction of what they did for Africa. These were business dealings. These Africans were sold. They were being sold. They were sold by Moors. They were sold by African chiefs. You understand? There were African nations that sold us, which is why they never came to get us. They didn't even send empty canoes to come for us to row our own self back. They didn't give a fuck about us. You know what I'm saying? We are all that we got. So, you running around saying you got all of this love for Africa. Africans sold us. These were all business transactions.
Unfortunately, there's usually this sensitive issue of the relationship between African Americans and Africans elsewhere. So I'm trying to be very careful with that. And my brothers in America, do not be fooled. Us Black people elsewhere, we have love for you. We are aware of the hardcore police brutality that you are facing. We are horrified by it. And we just have love for you. However, sometimes Africans elsewhere, and particularly in Africa, they will have criticism about some things that they see, some behavior that they see. Might be girls being very loose and checking their behind for no reason. If at least they get paid, I can understand that there's a logic. But what we could label as senseless killing, because as much as there's a police brutality, there is a lot of gang violence where we as people are hurting ourselves. But sometimes when Black people outside of America criticize African Americans, it's not well received at all. And then we end up hearing some very bad talk about Africans. And that's sad. As a matter of fact, there's that guy, Azazel. He's a Moor. He's the one who said, at the beginning, you hear someone say, F Africa. He's the one who said that. And the person you hear and laugh is Sanetta. That makes him laugh. That made him laugh.
Well, but I remember you. I I don't know if I still have the video saved in my favorites or something.
I
like
have it. I have a
No,
huge
you said
archive.
right, but yeah, you posted that video. This was, I believe, in 2013 or something like that, and you posted that video with Sonetta saying that he's not an African and Africans look at us like pieces of shit and all that. I remember that time.
You know, I mean, there's a video of Sonetta and Sutek. We don't hear about Sutek anymore. I don't know what's up with him. But they were talking down on a Caribbean brother, and they called him a banana boat N-word. And they were very, very, very harsh and violent towards him. They talked to him like he was a little homie, and he appeared to be, if not older than them, about the same age. That was real sad. That was real sad. And we can hear Sutek say, well, you can buy a DVD from us and free your mind. You can buy a book from us and free your mind. And as a matter of fact, I made a video called Banana Boat N-word, and you have the link. It's on Daily Motion. If you type black musics in one word with the S, you'll see many videos that unfortunately I cannot have on YouTube because people do flaggings. That's why I lost my account with 9,000 subscribers. There are some truths that are inconvenient to some people.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. Because I remember, like, I was deep in the conscious community on YouTube for a long time, but then I had heard some of the things you posted about like with the Sonetta situation, and I just decided I don't really watch it that much. I watch certain ones to get information from and learn something from, but I can't as a whole. I don't mess with the conscious community. It's fraudulent. It's not a community. It's a bunch of people claiming to be for their people, but at the same time, they're being very destructive. They're tearing down their own. They don't want nobody else, to be able to prosper on YouTube, or if it involves making money, they really don't like to see other people get donations or their channel become more popular than theirs. There's a whole lot of jealous, envious people, black people in the conscious community that just have a bunch of hatred in their heart. And I didn't want to be around that. I just saw through, just saw that they were fake. So I just stay away.
Well, Sonetta, he's the one who put Western Muhammad on. He's the one who put Ali Muhammad on because it's obvious that he's a good friend with Ali Muhammad. And I don't have anything against those people personally, but their claims is weird and whack at some point, sometimes. For example, Ali Muhammad, he showed a picture of the Prince of Wales called Prince Edward. He was nicknamed the Black Prince, and he said that he was black. I have the video. I made a video about that. He talked about there was no such thing as Kemet. It was a civilization of Moors, and he even said he hates Africa. It's on video. That's what he said. He said he hates Africa. And I mean, we know the deal with Sonetta. He will put everybody on to debate about anybody, and that's his thing. But those people who are Abrahamic, they have their temples, they have their followers. They've been there for a long time. But when it comes to so-called Kemetic people, we're not organized as them because we have not been there as long as they have been. And we hear about Jabari, and that's about it. Ashwa Kwezi, he makes trips to Kemet, but he does not run an organization. And this is where us who are non-Abrahamic, we need to be, what word can I use? We need to be thorough. It's not about hating the other people, the other black people who are Abrahamic, but we need something of our own. We do. Because, I mean, on Sanetta's platform, there was the Zariak who spoke with that young African boy, and I'm sure most of us have seen that. When Zariak found out that the young African boy, well, that young black boy, because he didn't know he was African, but then the boy, I think he was like half African, like 1 pound is African American and 1 pound is African, or maybe both. I think it's like half. But anyway, once the Tazarek found that out, he said to the young boy that he would not even feed him because he's African. When Tazarek said that, there was some backlash from the people. And Taneda said, well, Tazarek, you're my brother, but you'll never be on my platform again. And guess what? 2 weeks later, he was on the platform again.
Man, sad.
You know.
I mean, the hypocrisy, the lies, the bullshit, it's I can't deal with it, man. These are people that's supposed to be leaders and motivate their people to be the best that they could be, but we see y'all just acting like average fools, you know? So I don't waste my time with that no more. I really did appreciate and like what Sonetta was doing when I first stepped in. I make sure I'd watched all his videos, shared them, but as time went on, you know, he was just another wolf in sheep's clothing to me, along with some of the people he promoted, like Polite, Ali Muhammad, and Ali Muhammad. He's lying about his degree. It was
that was so funny, sister. I'm so glad you're saying that because the people roasted him. There was a spelling error in his diploma, which is impossible. I mean, they just don't do that. They don't make spelling mistakes. That's crazy. And sister, I'm so glad you're saying. You know, sister, there's so many foul things in the conscious community. We cannot even keep track of them.
Right? No, but you're right. It was a lot of shit that was being exposed. And I'm telling you, if I knew how to record or archive back then, I would have saved it. It was so much that went down, especially with just the House of Consciousness alone, that we could be here all day and night talking about it. It was a lot of stuff.
Yes.
And I think that was around the time Umar, people were saying that he was lying about his degree and shit like that. I mean, it was a lot of stuff, but you know.
Yes, Umar, a lot of people have been saying that to this day. Like, they were asking to see the degree. Apparently, one day, I think he posted his degree or something, but some people don't believe. They're not really sure. But, you know, as far as I'm concerned, whether or not he has his degree, that's his... I don't even know if I should talk about him again. Because people... The sad thing with our people is that when we do criticism, we are told that we are hating, that we are jealous. And that's sad. That's the number one thing. That's the number one thing. But you know, sister, you mentioned Polite, Brother Polite. And I don't know if it's possible that he scam people like it is claimed. Because I'm like, this dude travels around. He's in the hood. He's in Beverly Hills, and he's in the hood again. And I mean, one thing though, there's a sister who's an attorney or solicitor, like they say in England, or a lawyer, Ilya Shabazz, or something like that. And you know her, do you?
I've heard of her around YouTube. I don't think I've been like subscribed to her like. Her YouTube or something like that.
Really? I'm sorry. And this sister, she does have a YouTube account indeed. Okay. And she at one point was talking about Polite very harshly and about Polite's wife. She even said that she hopes that his wife goes to jail because they're scamming the people and so on. And she said that she has receipts and so on. Then she made a video talking about, if you have been scammed by Polite, contact me. Then all the videos she made about Polite were removed. And I'm like, there's something fishy there. If you remove the video because you're not an attorney, it's probably because you were not able to substantiate the accusations. I don't think that she would have got threatened so bad that you decided to remove the video. I don't think Polite is like that type of guy, like so deep in the street. I don't know. I'm not really convinced that he really scammed people like it is claimed, but I don't know. But I think I mean, when I listen to people, it's like he's been scamming the damn near the whole world, damn near all North America. And I'm like, I don't think it's possible.
But no, there was another sister. I forget her name. She used to go by God Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I'm not sure. I don't even know if she still do videos. But she did show receipts that she did purchase his book and never received it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one account. But my thing is this though. I think if because I do believe he's a con artist just by how he moves.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can't say 100%. I never bought nothing from him. What was it called?
New Covenant?
Yeah, but no, it was something about yeah,
Status correction.
I always thought that shit to be a scam anyway, but it's just how he moves. You notice now that I guess he's more Hollywood, or
yes,
his message changed a lot. And then he was talking all types of shit about the black community and how, he felt betrayed because he was in foster care and dealt with abuse and things like that. But then when he got arrested by the police and shit,
he was calling the black community.
Yeah, like okay, but it was weird how just even in that situation and other ones prior to it, his message flip-flopped. Just to me, like, I don't like people who aren't consistent. He wasn't consistent with a lot of the things he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
That was my problem with him. And that's some of the characteristics of a con man.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but personally, and I hope I don't sound like I'm defending him because I don't know him. I spoke only once to him on the phone during one of his radio broadcasts to ask him, because I heard him say that he has a record, I think a video. It's either a video or tape, but I think it was a video of Bobby Hemi claiming that he defecated an alien. So people are not confused. I heard Brother Polite say publicly that Bobby Hemi claimed that he defecated an alien. And I'm used to hearing real claims to the conscious community, but that's like. So I asked him about that one, and he said he need to go to his X-Files. And I had a video back then called Shakandugu came a conversation with Brother Polite. And then I just told Brother Polite that since he mentioned that there were black people in Palestine, that, it's not the case. And I think I mentioned white Semites, Black Awakening, but that was just for the record. Now, so just to say that I don't know him. And I think we need to be careful because like Umar Johnson is way more flagrant. Now, personally, I was kind of happy when I saw that Polite was on different platforms like Vlad TV, even though Vlad has his way of it sounds more like a cop doing investigation.
For the record, that was before Michael Nowak, aka Polite, had these charges, okay? Because my ops are so desperate they can't try anything.
Investigation that a journalist, but people are making fun of that. But the Breakfast Club with that basketball player, because usually we don't hear people who are non-Abrahamic and who are into the African culture in such huge platform.
Hello?
Doesn't mean that it's just that everything's on Catholic beliefs. But yeah, go ahead, sister.
Oh no, you went quiet
ahead,
for a second. I didn't know what happened. I don't know if it's you or me, but you're also breaking up.
Oh, am I? Oh, I'm sad.
Am I still breaking up now?
No, you sound better now.
Okay, I'm gonna try to.
But brother, I really did enjoy this conversation.
But yeah, go ahead.
My device is dying.
Yes.
I gotta go, but I would love to do this again.
Yes. It will definitely be next Sunday, probably 12 o'clock lunchtime. So this way it's 6 p.m. here, and because it's Sunday, people should be available. But thank you very much for calling. I do appreciate that, and I can tell that you've been watching, following the YouTube World, the Conscious Community for a while.
Oh yes. Since, a matter of fact, since December 2011, I was about 18 years old.
I can
But
see
I
many
really,
people hear about certain.
you went in and out again. I couldn't hear you.
Oh yes, no, I was about to talk, but when I heard you were going to say something, I was just letting you speak. It's all good. You just go ahead.
Oh no, you can go ahead.
Oh, I was just about to say that some of the younger generation, they look at those people that we have mentioned, but they don't know some of the foul stuff that used to happen back then, and hopefully we don't sound like haters to them, but it has its importance. But I think, Karenga, I mean, torturing black women, I mean, even that's like,
Yeah, it's
oh boy,
I
Kwanzaa.
agree. I agree. It's a lot, but nevertheless, it's the truth. People gonna have to deal with it one way or another.
Yeah, indeed.
But
we
brother,
will progress.
indeed. I have to go. Thumbs up
All
this
right, sister.
stream. It was fun, and I
Yes.
can't wait to do it again.
All right. Okay.
Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving mental nature classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video, Kemet and Ma'at, before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Meta Nature class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Meta Nature lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the Meta Nature, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody's interested in learning the Meta Nature, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Neture classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know like our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how, involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class. And all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medu Netia class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/ma'atforever.